Hey everybody, welcome back. Back in the car. It's always a good thing when you're back in the car going home. So I guess we call it car talk, truck talk. I don't know. Been through this before. I understand that last video, part 2, but it came out part 20 for some whatever reason. I don't know. I tried to delete that because I was actually spelling something else. The part, but for some reason that O still stayed and I didn't see it. But either way, I don't know what happened with that video. But either way, hopefully you guys got some stuff out of it, and you was able to grab some nuggets to put in your bags and continue on the journey. So that being said, let's dig in and see what the Lord has for us today. I was just thinking about something about, going into the whole hell part of it and, what's coming. And it dawned on me. I think about where I was in life and what Jesus did. My destination was hell. I had a grave that was deeper than anything any person can ever do on this earth. We put people 6 feet down and then put a tomb in there and a vault or whatever the heck they want to call them, and you put a casket inside of that. So now you got to pay for that vault thing, you got to pay for the casket. How exhausting. So people that can barely ever go to a graveyard, and trust me people, I used to mow a lot of cemeteries over the years, and it's kind of, you go, what in the world? Because once the generations of that family or whatever, what happens if people move away? You get married and the children move away, and I'm sure they probably think about it. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But I think about the grave. Let's just focus on that for a split moment here. Jesus paid the price and went into a grave, buried all sin into the grave. Jesus came and took me out of my grave. That destination was hell. He didn't have to, but he did. And all the years I spent blaming him and cursing him, he still loved me. All the years I was in witchcraft, sorcery, he still loved me. All the years where I was bitter towards people, done bad things to some people, had thoughts about doing bad things to people. I mean, not to laugh, but I mean, some of my thoughts, people would probably go, my gosh, I would never think that you would think that way. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sounds like Kool-Aid. Oh yeah. Nothing I'm proud of. But if my life journey can point to hell, and it can point to how Jesus rescued me and how he has changed me, that is the most important part of these videos. We are too close, people. We are too close to that coming, where he's standing up on that cloud and their names are being called. I've been talking about these visions, and I've been talking about the things that are happening around the world. I have truly seen bridges collapsing. I've seen National Guard setting up posts. Curfews after curfews after curfew. Been listening to all these people talk about these stimulus as well. I got this $6,000 and some dollars, and went out and just spent it. Got some new clothes and new TVs and stuff, and I'm like sitting there thinking, so that's how much you're for sale for? Because everybody else is going to go through this one way or another, we're going to pay this money back. It's not going to be so funny when you're complaining.
3/4 of a mile. Keep left onto I-70.
I hope you enjoyed it. They're all over YouTube. I mean, every time I turn around, there's something on it. I keep getting emails and text messages on this stuff. I've never even looked at it. I mean, you open it up and read about it, and all of a sudden, they attach something into your emails or something. I don't know. It's AI, for crying out loud. I mean, it's like, what in the world? I don't want this nonsense. Could we use the money? Yeah, everybody could use the extra money. But I have what God gives me, and I live off of that. I appreciate each load I get, each mile, even though I'm exhausted sometimes. I try to run as hard as I can, but do it as safely before I do anything. And that's the great thing about it. I run hard when I can. When the pavement's dry, I'm moving quicker than I can when it's wet. I'll drive through anything until I get to a point where I just go, I'm not doing it. My wipers start freezing up and there are chunks of ice forming on it and my windshield's freezing up. I'm done. No need for it. The load will get there when I get it there. They want to send somebody else after it, good luck, because obviously if I'm shutting down, how many other people are going through the same thing? It's not worth it. Life is not worth taking a chance on the what ifs, people. And that's what you're doing. You're taking a chance on what if. What if hell doesn't exist? What if heaven doesn't exist? What if this is all just a bunch of people's dreams and everybody copying each other? It could be. It could be. But it's not. I had somebody ask me a while back, what if this is all wrong? And you're living a life without doing the things that you did before. Is it worth it? Yes, it is. I gotta admit, there were some times that I did miss doing things that I did before. And then that reality comes back of heaven and hell. And the man that went to the grave and pulled me out of it. Not today. Not today, he says. I owe a lot. I owe a lot to Jesus. And my thing is how can I serve him? I've been racking my brain at what I can do, and then it just keeps coming back to these videos. All the videos, I don't know how many's on there, to be honest, but all I can say is how many people just sat there and called it a bunch of rambling nonsense. And then when they comment a bunch of comments on it, but then they're not willing to reply back to the questions that I asked them. Which basically then just proves that you're right. The very things that I'm saying is truthful. Because they just come out of hate. Been there, done that. Are you going to say that when Jesus is standing up on them clouds and your name's not being called? Been there, done that? I came against Jesus in so many ways. I came against God in more ways than probably most people could probably think of. I can honestly tell you, one night I was at a party and we were doing a bunch of demonic things, and I seen a portal open. And the weird thing about it is, no one was sitting doing that to where a portal should open. And I seen this woman walking towards me. Beautiful. I mean, I've never told anybody this. I mean, anybody. So pay attention to this. Very beautiful lady. Now you gotta understand now, I'm talking, at this point I'm like 17, I believe. So naturally my hormones are crazy, but again, I wasn't like most people. I wasn't one of those guys that jumped in bed with just anybody. You know, I didn't like it. I knew a lot of guys that was big on the one night stand thing. As much as I hated people, I think I had more respect for young ladies and women than that. Until I finally got married, and then I had no respect. I lost all respect in women. I'm serious, I did. And it's amazing how, to hear her story, I've cheated on her 3 times with 3 different people. Give me a break. You know, and in reality, I like to just walk up to her and slam it on the table and go, here you go. If you are right, which you're not, I can prove you're not right. I'll throw all 3 of them on the table compared to your how many in years. And you're going to call the kettle black here, are you? Okay. See, what she's got the first thing wrong is she accused me of 2 people at a nursing home. Oh, there you go. Show me the 2. And then she keeps going back to another person that it's just ridiculous all the way around. But think about how the accusers accuse people. You know, things didn't work out the way I thought it was going to, you know, on here, answering comments, answering stuff. But I'm glad at the patience of some people. I got a lot of emails I was going to try to get to last night, and didn't get a chance to do it. I was exhausted. I mean, honestly, I went back here, and next thing I know, my alarm clock's going off. You know, it's not just holding the steering wheel, people. And I'm saying this before I get back into the video because I think some people forget about what goes on out here. You know, I'm dealing with weather, I'm dealing with traffic, I'm dealing with times, I'm dealing with whatever is happening, construction, breakdowns, accidents. It's a lot. I mean, you're constantly looking at your mirrors, you're constantly scanning the front of your windshield, looking at what cars are doing. Like this car in front of me now has been drifting to the far left lane. I'm in the middle lane. It's a 3-lane highway. And they just keep dripping off to the side. So what are they doing? So now I'm sitting there paying attention to the car coming up off to my left and the car to the right, because if they go either way, I have to know which car is coming closest to me and make sure it passes me. Because if not, if they get in an accident, I got to know which way I can go quickest to get around something. So there's a lot. Plus, I'm looking at my air gauges and everything on my dash that I got to keep an eye on to make sure that I'm able to stop when I need to stop. That's how sin is. If we had gauges that we can look at where your sin meter was getting to a point of red, it should never even move. Should it? Think about it. But anyways, so I'm heading home, so I'm going to be able to dig in some emails. I read Luke's on the last video. And Luke, buddy, I don't know what in the world, man. I know you kept saying over and over and over through there, it's not pointed to anybody, but you kept mentioning emails and people talking to you in emails, and I mean, I do have to admit, I'm going to be honest with you, it kind of feels like you're hammering me out here, bud. I mean, it really does, and I hope not, because I'm busy. I truly am. I'm putting a lot of stuff together, working on these videos, working on some upcoming things that I mentioned that I want to start doing, and I'm not ignoring you. And I don't know how to get that through your head. I mean, even if it's not meant for me, I just want to tell you. Yes, I see your emails. I haven't got a chance to look at them. Susan's got a few on there. I mean, there's a couple other people that's been sending emails. I have not got a chance, and I do apologize. I'm sorry. I hope it is nothing major. But I do pray. When I see your names, I am praying before I even know what's going on. I ask for protection over whoever's emails that I see before I can get to them. And then I pray, Lord, if it's something I need to look at right now, please open it up for me. And that's what's going on here, people. So don't think I'm ignoring you, because I'm not. I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me. That's horrible. It's truly horrible. I wouldn't do that to you guys. But out of the most part, Susan, very, very patient with me. Tracy, very patient with me. Brandon, Canada, hey, my brother, very patient. I don't know how many times I looked on there and he tried calling me, and I was just pulling into a shipper or something and couldn't take the call. But we will set something up, Brandon. I just love to talk with you, man. Amber, you've been patient, and you know, it seems like the same few people that there was another one too that I always like his comment. Dang it, I can't think of his name offhand. It's a couple videos back. Can't think of it. But anyways, pushing forward. You know, when that time comes, I personally speak for myself. I know lately I keep feeling change. And I know I keep seeing April. But let me run down this vision for you real quick, okay? I was walking along, and all this destruction and all this stuff was happening, and I end up running into people I knew years ago, and I end up going into a hotel. Now, I was on my way to a press conference. Some kind of conference thing. I shouldn't say press conference, because it wasn't that. It was something to do with YouTube, and there was a big ordeal going on, and there was a bunch of people that prophesied different things or experienced different things, different people from different podcasts and stuff, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you want to call it, but anyways. But then I ran into a few people in there. So I was like, well, hold on, man, I got to check into this hotel, and I'll come back out and talk to you. I go into the hotel. Now, this is what's interesting about this. Ready for this? I go into the hotel. It was April 4th. April 4th of 24 this year. I went into this hotel. Big, giant hotel. I mean, a lot of rooms. I mean, I've never seen a hotel so big in my life. The room I was supposed to get was bottom floor. It was supposed to be 124. Think about that. 124. When I got in and checked in, she says, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. We got rid of your room." I was like, okay. She says, "But I have 424 that I can give you." Now I stood there for a moment and I'm going, it's April 24th, 2024. So naturally I'm automatically, even in this vision, I'm like, what is going on here? She says, "Sorry about that, sir." I went, okay. "I have to put you on the 4th floor, room 444. 4th month, 4th day of 24. Now, I could be stretching that out there, but listen to all the rooms that I was supposed to go on. 124. Think about this. 424. Now 444. Well, I don't know. Even in a vision, it grabbed my attention. So I walk back outside. I throw my stuff in the room. I walk back outside, and I'm talking to the one guy, and he goes, "Hey, what are you doing later?" I said, "I don't know. I'm going to go through some of my notes and thoughts and get ready for tomorrow. It's a 3-day event. 3 days." And all of a sudden, we're standing there, and I'm looking up, and I'm going, what is going on? And it starts getting kind of dark. And I said, "Man, it's not supposed to storm, is it?" He goes, "I don't think so." I said, "Well, what room are you in? Maybe if I get exhausted of going through there, because I don't like to make it sound rehearse. I don't want that. I don't want people to be fooled by the devil." He goes, "Oh, the good old devil. The one everybody takes lightly." I said, "Yeah, it's like not putting any salt in your mashed potatoes, I guess." And I don't know why I said that, but I mean, I put too much salt in mashed potatoes once. Oh my gosh. Ugh. But anyways, I said, "What room are you in?" 6. And I looked at him, I said, "If you say 6 one more time." He said 7. Now, I'm also having a lot of stuff about the 6th month and the 7th month. Then I looked over at the other guy, and he said, now, August, and somewhere in August, but mostly September and October. There's another one. He says, "Well, I'm in 890. I said, "Interesting." He said, "Why is that?" I said, "What time is it?" He says, "It's 4:44. Why?" I said, "It's 4:44. He said, "Yeah. You got to be somewhere at 5 or something?" I said, 4:44, exactly 4:44. He says, "Yes." I said, "That's my hotel room number, 444. He says, "In this building?" I said, "Yeah." Huh. I said, "What do you, about?" He says, "Do you realize whose room that was? Realize what building you're in?" I said, "No clue. They got a big conference room in this place." He goes, "Yeah, it was a sanctuary. It was not a conference room. It used to be a sanctuary. It was a portal remembrance where all the demons and warlocks and stuff would come from all around and go to." you're staying in one of the higher warlocks. Oh, great. And as I'm looking up, the sky's getting darker and darker. And it was a total blackout. Total blackout. And through this blackout, I'm watching stuff start to, like, disintegrate. And it was like drops of water, but it was like burning drops of water. Like the water was hot. It was almost like if steam was coming off of a pipe or something. It just burning you. Because steam off of a pipe will mess you up more, and I believe probably quicker than hot water or something would. That steam is crazy what it could do to somebody. And I'm like, well, this isn't normal. And the next thing I know, I've seen the sun basically turning a dark red, and the moon was blackened. Like it become black. And all this took place between 444 and 60 minutes of this. But what happened in that 60 minutes is what I'm about to tell you. It was intense. I'm seeing bridges collapse. I'm seeing all these people trying to flee. Stuff strapped to the top of the cars. And I'm staring at this bridge, and these cars are zooming across there. And all of a sudden there's a major pileup, an accident, something, I don't know. I can't really see. I'm just seeing the cars. And I'm seeing these semis just, and it's just like crash after crash. I'm like, what is going on? Everywhere around you, there was like people just, cars crashing. And people, I'm telling you, this was like something out of a movie. And I know some of you might go, well, yeah, I mean, this is crazy. And this one car comes flying by, hit this person, and their blood like went across. And I remember going like this, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I grabbed the hold of the person, dead. Dead on the scene. I looked over at the car, and there's nobody in the car. I started looking at other cars. No one's in the cars. And all of a sudden, I'm looking upwards, and I'm seeing these like hologram-looking things going up into the air. But I recognized people. I knew some of the people that was being lifted up. And you heard in the distance like a loud thunder. But then you started making out it's calling names. It's not a thunder, it's a voice. And I recognized that that's God. It's Jesus. And the next thing you know, I'm in my car, driving off, and they're trying to tell me to stop. You're not going to be able to leave. They're shutting all the roads down. I said, oh, yes, I will. I have to go. And I'm taking all these back roads, and I'm cutting through interstates, and I'm going through all this stuff. Now, granted, people, I'm on a half a tank of gas. Half a tank. I drove from wherever I was at. I don't even know what state I was in. I just know I crossed through some states. I don't even know what states I crossed in, so I couldn't tell you where I've been. But guess where I ended up? Take a great guess. Anybody that's been listening to these videos, you're on it. You're going to know. New York. I watched this water building up, and I watched the Statue of Liberty getting pounded and falling. The torch falling into the water. and went total blackness. The light was leaving the earth, people. The church body was leaving. The positive was leaving. And I believe I believe when that Statue of Liberty, because I could never understand why the torch would break off and fall into the water. Because we have finally removed the true light, Jesus, God, from the earth. Well done. We should be proud of ourselves. I bet you the ones that end up in heaven were probably loving it. So now you got to sit there and look at it and go, you know the dream. You know where I end up. You know how many trips and journeys I take to bring people there. The one thing that I still cannot figure out is who that person is. And I don't know why it bothers me so much. I guess one day I'll see. If I'm left here and I go through what I'm seeing, I guess I'll finally get to see who that person is with the brown hair. It drives me crazy, not knowing. I don't know why I'm like that, and I give it to Jesus. He made me this way. It's kind of like, how many of you have to see a name and a face? Some people think that's weird. No, I think a lot of people are like that. You know, I don't know what's going to take place in April. But the weird thing is, when I was talking to Darlene about some of this stuff, she told me we have an eclipse coming. And I found that interesting. I said, in April? She said, I believe so. Now, don't quote me on this. I might be wrong. But I could have sworn she said this April. So if that's the case, we would go to darkness. Now, I don't know what day, if it is coming, but if it's on the 4th, I'm going to be very... I'm going to have to look it up just to see. That's going to be something. Now, I know what some people can say, well, no, that's a heck of a deal there, because if you, you know dang well, it's going to get dark because the moon passes from the sun. Or the sun passes the moon, whatever. I don't even really know how the eclipse really does it, to be honest with you. I just think it's the most goofiest thing ever that people buy glasses to stare at this. What if the sun actually doesn't get covered in parts and you're staring at that glasses with them glasses? Are you willing to take a chance that you don't go blind? It's amazing how many chances we take, how many dice we roll with the devil every day, and knowingly that we could go to hell. Are you that sure you're going to go to heaven? I would like to say yes. But then when I have to keep correcting my thoughts, because like yesterday, after reading some of this stuff, I'm just like, what in the world? You know, it's like, I don't understand. You know, especially with the one guy that I was talking about in that video, I don't understand him. You know, for him to come on there and do what he did, I mean, I was shocked. I mean, I don't go on his YouTube channel. I mean, I was actually going to have this guy on to talk about his channel and stuff. Look how fast people turn. One by one by one by one. Because you hear something and you automatically assume it's you. That's falsely accusing. And then going to call me judgmental. Talking about judgment. Are you insane? I'm not judging you. This was nothing about you. But you took it that way. Why'd you take it that way? Because of what you're doing in your videos? That's between you and God. Because you said you're on here to do what God has sent you to do. Well, I hate to say it, but I looked at a couple of your videos, and I don't see. Maybe it's the ones I watched, but you're more or less talking about how to survive. I don't want people to have to survive. I want people to go now. When Jesus is calling, I want them to be ready. There's a big difference between, I did a survival bucket not for the end times. I did it because of if we went into a 3-day of darkness. Because let me tell you something. I don't care how many guns you have. I don't care how much preparation you have. You go burning something at nighttime and it goes out a chimney, or you're outside, you're a sitting duck. You can take that one to the bank. You think if people are hungry, they're not coming? That's a powerful thing to try to stop when somebody is hungry. What if you don't see them coming? I'll put tripwires out. Go ahead. Can't stop everybody. Because the things that I see, people are coming in packs. And I mean packs. Underground people, I call them. The same very people that I seen that was driving in their cars, looking down alleyways at people they know. Hey, and the lady yelled out, "Hey, there's such and such." And they're over there, they stand up and they got blood all over their face and they're eating their child. I would say the girl's probably like 12, 14 years old, somewhere in there, screaming for help, and they're eating her. If you think this is just a scary movie, for your sakes, I hope you're right if you get stuck here. Because when you go in there and take that barcode thing into your head, or you take that chip into your hand, you have just surrendered your soul, spirit, life straight into hell. And that's where you're going, straight to hell. You're not even bypassing go, people. You're going to go right there. Lucifer is going to ship you off right there as soon as you take the mark, because you are his property now. You're no longer God's. Your name is removed from the book of life. And all your other books that you have up there in heaven will be destroyed. They shall be cast out of heaven into the fires. Still willing to play the game? Play it. It's your turn to roll the dice. Now, I know some of you out there, you've been through a lot. Some of you have been out there, you've been through beatings multiple times when your spouse would come home drunk or overdosing on drugs and everything else and just letting you have it. Some of you are being drugged up and under the authority of a pimp. Too afraid to leave because you think they're going to turn one. If they gathered you and another person you know at the same time, they're going to play your love for each other. What do you think is going to happen in the end times? I told you. I've seen it. They're going to separate you. They're going to put it right across a hall, and you're going to see your wife, maybe kids, being beaten, raped, and they're going to keep looking at you. Keep looking at you. Keep looking at you. You couldn't lead your household then. Are you really going to give up something for them? No, because if you do, you're going to hell. There's no, well, Lord, I did it to save my family. Bull crap, because they're going to kill them right there on the spot anyways. Unless they take the mark themselves. See, Lucifer's not going to stop attacking that head of that household. But your blood, their blood, is going to be on you. Well, I'm a mixed martial artist. I work out. I do this. I was in the service. I've done blah, 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 blah. And I'm not taking anything away from anybody, so don't think that I am. I'm just saying all your training, all your skills, all your whatever isn't going to mean nothing. Nothing. You're going against the power of the darkness. The Prince of Power. Lucifer himself. Good luck. You ain't strong enough. I'm not strong enough. I would rather grab a hold of 6 potato sacks and shake those dang things up and throw them in a pit. 2 bags being scorpions, 2 bags cobras. I don't know how many I said, but 2 bags rattlesnakes and 2 bags of the most poisonous spiders, all different kind of poisonous spiders in 2 sacks, and just dump them in a thing and jump in it. Than to try to think that I'm going to be able to overcome whatever Lucifer has in store. You're a fool. That is the biggest foolish person ever that can say that they think they can overpower Lucifer. Your scary movies is only not even a drop in the bucket compared to what it's capable of. Again, good luck. You know, the end times isn't going to get any better. What we're in right now isn't going to get any better. You know what it's like to walk down a hallway and see people that you know being tortured, screaming for you, grabbing a hold of you. Their nails filed down so much it feels like razor blades. That's what grabbing a hold of you and running their hands down your legs and ripping your legs open because they're trying to get you to grab them, to take them with you. I remember walking through the one corridor down in hell. Stench. I never smelled such bad odor in my life. And I'm like, what is that smell? Why did it? It's like you draw to it, people, like you're stuck moving towards it, moving towards it, moving towards it. I hear these people scream and scream. And the closer I get, my veins are swelling. My hands are hurting because my veins are swollen, my body's swollen. I almost feel like the fluids were going to burst out of my body and through my flesh. That's how I felt. And I get to this window, and I'm looking in the window. I'd seen people I knew. I seen my sister that was a year and a half or so older, I think about a year and a half, laying on the table, screaming for me. She could see me, looking through the window. And all I could do was stand there and stare. But here's the amazing thing. I don't know if it's amazing, but here's the thing. They took these long, thin rods sharp razors on the end, and they were red, like glowing red and orange. They took their nails across the flesh, shoved it into their flesh. The screaming was intense. They took these other metal fork-looking things, long, pulled it right up out of this blazing fire, and just kept laying it on top of them. And they're screaming, welting their flesh up. And it was the most disgusting. I mean, it was like watching the crucifixion of Jesus, what they did to him. And I'm staring at this, and all I kept hearing my sister say, "Nell, help me. Please help me. I'm sorry for what I've done to you." I never said a word. I just stared. I looked over and I seen some of my children. It's the same thing. Then all of a sudden I felt this hand the arm come around my neck, and the hand come down this way, so it'd be more like putting your arm around my right arm around somebody. And I heard him speak, and I was like, you just sometimes get exhausted listening to that man. He says, you can stop this. I'll let them all go. Every one of them. All you have to do, you see that table? All you have to do is go in there, open your skin, take the black pen, which is basically a metal object, and write each letter by itself. And every letter you put down, I'll release one person. But you got to do your first and last name. I understand that, and I know why you want that. And then, when I release the final one, and you can see them going, if they call on Jesus, I will bother them no more. But if they don't, I will swoop them back in here. If they go back to their old ways. You're talking about children, family. He says you got 4 seconds. And I'm watching them all be tortured. Fingers being broken half. Ripped their fingers being torn, just hanging. Veins, bones sticking out of them. Snapping legs. Breaking their foot clean from their body. And when I mean breaking the foot off, I mean snapping it off and ripping flesh and all. Veins, everything, and blood everywhere. But yet it got restored. I cannot imagine that pain. Ripping, busting teeth, snapping teeth out of their mouth. Shoving stuff in their nostrils, just splitting it across. Taking their fingernails, sticking it into their eyelids, right into their eye sockets, after they put them in the hot coal. And they're all just tied down, people. Trying to move if they can. Splitting their tongues. Grabbing the eyelids and just right off the body. Like it's nothing. And if you got young adults, use cautious, because taking body parts and putting it inside of other body parts, if you understand what I'm saying. And I'm going to tell you something, people. This is just the welcome room, if you want to call it. This is your processing. Like in heaven, when I sing the wash area, you're being washed, given a new name in a white robe. Well, that's your welcome. That's your processing center in your welcome area for hell. And you haven't even made it in the gates yet. You haven't even begun your torture yet. What did I do? Glad you asked. I turned around and I walked away. Turned around and I walked away. And I know some of you might go, wow, your children? Your sister? Other family? Other friends? You could have saved them all. Would you? Would you? After seeing that, and you haven't even seen hell yet, you had an opportunity, don't even say you would, because you don't know what you would do until your face was seeing what you've seen. Look, Peter denied Christ 3 times after seeing what he's seen. So don't tell me that, you would never eat a dead animal laying on the side of a road. Don't tell me you wouldn't do it until you're faced with that. When you walk past it, don't tell me you won't eat flesh off of someone. Oh, you'd be surprised what you do to survive, people. Scooping a handful of maggots off of something is going to sound very tasty. Some of you might go, no, there's no way. Oh, yes, there's way. If that's the only way you can survive, yes. Hunger pains, people, is the worst of all worst. But I walked away. And you're never going to get why. This is what came to my mind when I was standing there watching all this. Who are these people, Lord? Who are these people that you do not know or claim? That is no longer yours? That they ended up here. Sinners of the world. Basically blaspheming the Spirit. Because they did not believe in you. Did not trust in you. You are the Son of God. Who are these people? For my mother and my brother is those who serve of my Father, your Father. And I turned around and walked away. I'm not going to know them in heaven. They didn't know me here on earth. They walked away from me. Funny now, is that an eye for an eye? No. It's not an eye for an eye. They didn't know me. I'm not going to know them. The Lord didn't send me there to save them. Only He can save you. You think I'm going to make a deal with the devil? I did that one too many times. I was punished big time when I didn't fulfill contracts with him. Not so great. We're too judgmental, people. We're too quick to point the finger. We're too fast to come up with what we think. I ain't got no place, no patience for any of that. go on and thinking and living the way you want to live, and you go on and believing what you want to believe, and you let it take place and be done the way that you think it's going to be. Go on, have fun with it. Just remember, how you judge, you will be judged accordingly the same way. Now, I know there's going to be some interesting things taking place from here on out of this year. And I believe the fuel is going to continue to rise. I believe we're going to have shortages of food. And I know I've been speaking this for a long time, people. But this is going to be a financial collapse. I've been speaking for a long time about them doing one currency, one world order. They're already doing it. Nations are forming with nations. The United States is turning on each other. That Constitution written on paper is about as good as our money. Useless. And I'm sorry for all you that served in wars and all of you went in the military, because it's for nothing if we continue to take God out of everything. So you can hang the military flags up, you can do it all you like. I respect what you did, willingly going in there, things you have seen, things you've been through. I feel bad for the ones that come out beyond it has to deal with what happened. We're not doing so good on that either, are we? It's crazy. Sometimes I wish I didn't have these visions and dreams. Jesus went to the cross. I think it's time we start showing appreciation. Stop complaining. Stop judging. Stop thinking that we're better than God. And we can do judgmental things. Judge accordingly. Well, let me know how that works out for you. Because one day you may be judging your own family. You may be being judged yourself for not doing the right things. Are you willing to stand alone? You're about to find out. It's coming. It's coming. Like a thief in the night. Either way, God bless you guys. I'm going to start digging into the other videos I got and introduce what I'm going to be also involved with probably in the next video. Then again, just going to say it, I've been sending my email to a couple people that's been asking, but I'm going to put it in this title and I'm going to say it here. NWROBINS777@hotmail.com. Yes, I know there's only one B. I did that because I had to, because they wouldn't accept it because of the other email I had, and it's been hacked so many times. So I did one B. Yes, my last name has two B's. So again, NWROBINS777@hotmail.com. Just remember to give me some time to get to you, but please put in some kind of title, YouTube, so I know it's someone from YouTube, and I'll get to them. Because honestly, if I don't recognize the name, or if I don't see something, right now the people that send me a lot of emails, I pretty much know their emails. But if it's not, I don't recognize it, I might not open it, because there's so much scam in the spam stuff, that all that stuff that comes in there, I don't take a chance in opening something I don't know. So, that being said, please put YouTube in the title of the subject or whatever it's called, so I know to open it. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of this journey. God bless you. Until the next one.